Cardinals will have good field position, first down and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Again, remember there are 4 10-minute quarters, 3 timeouts for each ball club, continuous clock until the 2-minute warning and an 8-minute halftime. So first down and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 47-yard line. Under center is Kyle Rose, and the handoff over the left side and pounding ahead is Pinder, and he's out to midfield. And as they push the pile, in fact, a little bit over midfield, both squads have got some very big ball players. It's a gain of 4. And Pinder, Zeus Pinder, number 1, I imagine that is him, but with a very long ponytail in the back, not able to officially see that number. Hope it doesn't get pulled. So second down and 6 from the 49-yard line. A handoff this time going over the left side is Jaden Matthews, and he has a first down and more down close to the 36-yard line where he's gang tackled. Penalty marker back on the other side of midfield. This is going to come back. It is holding against the Cardinals. Just underway, 8:20 remaining in this opening quarter. Again, a continuous clock. No score, and they marked that ball down at the 37-yard line, but I imagine that is coming back. It was a gain of 14 yards, and that will come back. Jaden Matthews' good run was interrupted. Some of the top defenders for the Knights wearing number 1 is Pinder, Cordova 21, and Hall 36. And in fact, it's Amari Taasi wearing number 1, the man with a long ponytail. So Tahasi getting that carry on the first play from scrimmage. Jaden Matthews, the other running back for the Cardinals. After the penalty, they marked the ball back at the Cardinal 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 17, Cardinals back at their own 40. Taasi, the big running back in the backfield. Again, continuous clock. Under center is Fabian Castro. And over the left side, this is Taasi coming away with it. Appearing to get the fumble, Adam Mohammed, but will it stand? No. The biggest man that I have seen on the field so far, number 11 for the Cardinals, Priest Anthony. And it's hard to tell when you're talking about 10-year-olds, but he looks like a 300-pounder. He's on that left side of the line. Taasi, number 1, the running back with the ponytail, also big, but almost half the size of Priest Anthony. Third down and 12 for the Cardinals, just shy of their own 45-yard line. Castro, a handoff inside. This is Matthews racing into the secondary, has a first down and more, and he's all the way inside the 40 to the 38-yard line of the Knights. 23-yard gain. And coming up from the bottom of that pile, number 32, Andre Gibson, one of the tacklers on that. Again, guys to keep an eye on, Pinder, number 1, 21, Cordova, and Hall, 36 for the Knights on defense. They say his knee was down at the 39-yard line. 6:08 and ticking here in the opening quarter. No score. This drive started for the Cardinals back at their own 40-yard line. It's first down and 10, Cardinals at the 39 of the Knights. Matthews, the tailback behind Tahasi. They have it here on an end-around play. This is Parsons racing ahead, and he's inside the 25 to the 22-yard line, taken down by Manuel Vasquez. So Freddie Parsons getting the end around. He picks 6 yards up down to the 32-yard line, make it 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Cardinals at the Knights' 32-yard line. Again, this a rematch of last week's game, the MIS League Championship, in which the Knights beat the Cardinals 26-13. So this should be evenly matched. 2nd down and 3, Cardinals at the Knights' 32-yard line. Matthews again the single setback. And this is a quarterback keeper this time. It's Fabian Castro. In fact, that running back in the backfield that time was Omar Lezcano. Have to apologize again. Whatever roster we get, we have to go off of that. Sometimes they're not updated to the best that can be, but do the best we can. 3rd down and 2 for the Cardinals at the 31 of the Knights. Quarterback keeper straight ahead. Castro pushes his way down to the 28-yard line. So Fabian Castro wearing number 6 for the Cardinals. Continuous clock, 4:25 and ticking in the opening quarter. No score. The Cardinals on the march. First down and 10 at the 28-yard line of the Knights. The single setback is the big guy, Amari Taasi. And a handoff going right in the backfield. Spinning and twisting, and this is Jonathan Gallardo. And he picks up a couple. And disrupting it in the backfield, Andre Gibson, who actually got in there and kind of made a mess that kind of kept that to only a 2-yard gain. It's 2nd down and 8. Cardinals at the 25-yard line of the Knights. Again, the single setback is Taasi. They fake it, and here is the cut inside. This is Matthews breaking to the outside, and finally ridden down. A nice tackle, solo tackle, the 16-yard line that time by Adam Muhammad. 3:25 and ticking here in the opening quarter. No score, and the Cardinals on the march. This drive started back at their own 40-yard line after receiving the opening kickoff. A gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and very short for the Cardinals at the Knights' 14-yard line. The Knights, again, have won 76 straight ball games in Arizona, dating back to when these kids were 7.5 years old. They won last year's championship at ASU. 3rd down and short, and a quarterback keeper and a good push on the offensive line. And Castro follows that big line, and he is down to around the 15-yard line. 95 degrees, expected to get to about 99, and when that defense is on the field for a long time, they certainly get worn down. Again, the Knights did beat the Cardinals last week. Cardinals with some very big guys. Priest Anthony, number 11, very big, but I'd imagine he would kind of get worn out in this heat. He hasn't been active in a lot of this stuff. 1st down and goal. Handoff to Asi. He is hit in the backfield, and getting him down low that time was Torrin Hall, one of the top tacklers for the Knights. Yeah, it was Torrin Hall. So Hall hit him low, and Tahasi, a guy that you have to hit low to knock him down. Closing in on 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. No score, gain of 1 for Tahasi. It's 3rd down and 2. Matthews into the backfield. The handoff to Matthews. Darts inside. He is knocked down right around the 5-yard line. Getting him low is Willie Cordova, the second leading tackler on the team, and that close to a 1st down. It is a 1st down for the Cardinals. 1:40 ticking here in the opening quarter. Cardinals have had the ball the whole time, and this, what you'd like to be able to do, checking out is Matthews, checking in Omar Lezcano at running back. And this warm heat, if you can wear down that defense, that's a big plus. 1st down and goal for the Cardinals at the 6 of the Knights. The handoff to Lezcano over the right side, and he finds an alley. He's right into the end zone for a touchdown. Omar Lezcano had a couple of younger brothers playing in the prior game, scores from 6 yards, and it is 6-0 in favor of the Cardinals, just under a minute and ticking here in the opening quarter. Penalty marker, though, on the far side of the field. And we'll see what this is all about. But Lezcano ran it in from 6 yards. Timeout is called by the officials. The clock only stops at the 2-minute mark before the half and at the end of the ball game, but let's see what this call is. Lezcano scored, and that is going to come back. It will not count. It's a penalty against the Cardinals. So no touchdown, and I'd imagine that's going to be holding as they're marking it way back to the 21-yard line, a 15-yard penalty. So negate that touchdown run of 6 yards by Omar Lezcano. 33 seconds and ticking, a continuous clock. 1st down and goal for the Cardinals at the Knights' 21-yard line. The Cardinals have had the ball the entire first quarter. Handoff, this ball is fumbled and is recovered by the Knights. Recovered by the Knights, and it is Manuel Vasquez coming out of there with that fumble, and that's what can happen. A lot of times you think, well, the team is down at the 1 yard line, this and that, well, just let them score, but you get a penalty and bring it back, and a fumble can occur, something like that, and just like that, the Cardinals come up empty after holding the ball for the entire 10 minutes. So a fumbled exchange, a penalty, and they negated the touchdown run by Omar Lezcano, and we will switch ends, take a quick break in the action. No score after 1 quarter as the Arizona Knights and the West Valley Cardinals in a rematch of last week's league championship, the MIS, in which the Knights won 26-13. And welcome back, everybody. Eric Anderson along with you from North High School in Phoenix, Arizona. The 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series, age 10. No scores. We start the second quarter. The Cardinals had the ball the entire first quarter and came up empty after a fumbled exchange. First down and 10 for the Knights from their own 20-yard line. In fact, the 22-yard line. And a whistle comes in. Quarterback Kyle Rose wearing number 9. And that'll be a timeout for the Cardinals. 9:38 remaining in this first half. No score. Of course, the Cardinals in red, the Knights in the green. You're watching the 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series on apnvideo.com. And it's brought to you by B4, BFU, Urban Elite Athletic, the All-American Games, U.S. Army's All-American Bowl, by Reform, Youth One, National Youth Championship Bowl Series of Arizona. Temperature approaching 99 degrees. And anybody with any size, now I've mentioned Priest Anthony, number 11 in the middle of the line for the Cardinals. He would have to be one guy that I'd imagine to get tired. He's got to be right around, he's probably the biggest 10-year-old I've seen out there. First down and 10 for the Knights from their own 22-yard line. A continuous clock, 9:38 and ticking in the second quarter. No score. Stacked backfield with 3 in the backfield. They pitch it, getting to the outside and racing out there. Adam Muhammad, and he fights his way out to the 30-yard line. Wrestled out of bounds that time by Isaac Polivi-Yaumu. I've got to say that name a couple of times. Polivi-Yauma. Polivi-Yauma. I met his dad down there, and Polivi-Yauma, Isaac Polivi-Yauma, number 55, will be one of the top tacklers for that Cardinals squad. A gain on the play of 9. It'll be second down and about 1 for the Knights, just over the 30-yard line. Muhammad again, number 19, is the tailback. A full house backfield with 3 backs in the backfield on second down and 1. And they hand off to the fullback, nothing doing, straight ahead. Polivi-Yaumu again was right there on that stop, but also I can't understand. Polivi-Yauma was one of the main guys on that stop, but also credit that interior of the line, San Garcia, 75, and Jonathan Gallardo. That time they gave it to the fullback Gibson, but he lost a yard. It'll be third down, and we'll call it 3 for the Knights from their own 29-yard line. Approaching 8 minutes remaining in this first half. No score. Again, a stacked backfield. They pitch it to Muhammad a little bit high, had to go up after it. Cuts to the outside, and he is going to be close to the first down. But he may have come up just a little bit short. Gallardo in on the stop on that far side. Also Jonathan Cortina, number 31. Polivi-Yauma, number 55, also in on that action. And we may have a measurement here. I think it's awfully close. 7:28 remaining in this first half. No score. The Cardinals had the ball for the entire first quarter, and they had a score that was pulled off the board due to a penalty, and then they fumbled the next exchange, recovered by the Knights. And we'll have a measurement here on a very close play right around the 31-yard line. Again, this is a rematch of last week's MIS League Championship game. The Knights won 26-13. And they're going to be just a little bit short, are the Knights. So 4th down and maybe a half a yard. Tahasi, number 1, is on that left side of that line on defense. Their fullback, and he's done a fine job. Louis Ramirez, number 90, one of the linebackers. Garcia checks out, and checking back in, the monstrous Priest Anthony right in the middle. In case they try to run it up the middle, he's going to be there to take a look at him. But a guy that size might tire in this heat. 4th down and inches for the Knights from their own 31-yard line. Again, 3 backs in the backfield. The handoff going left is Pinder trying to get to the outside. Cuts it up, has the first down, and lunges up over the 35-yard line to the 36. So Pinder getting the carry that time. Over on the stop was Freddie Parsons, and Piliviyama also ranging all over the entire field. They needed a half a yard, and they got 4 from Zeus Pinder. 6:30 and ticking here in the first half. No score, and it's 1st down and 10 for the Knights from their own 35-yard line. Again, 3 backs in the backfield. Kyle Rose is the quarterback. They pitch it as behind Muhammad. Had to go back and get it. Cuts it up, and he is tripped up on a nice open field tackle by Joseph Clark, number 2. A very tight ball game so far. I mentioned the Cardinals possessed the ball the entire first quarter and came up empty. They had a touchdown temporarily, but penalty called it back, and they fumbled on a fumbled exchange, recovered by the Knights in the very next play. Under 6 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Again, continuous clock, and the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. 3 timeouts for each team, 4 10-minute quarters. 2nd down and 9 for the Knights from their own 36. Muhammad, the tailback, in a full house backfield. They give it to the up back, and this time it is Gibson. He's eaten alive, and it's going to be a loss on the play. Making that tackle, Louis Ramirez, coming up from the bottom of that pile. And he came up with the ball, but that was after the fact. So Ramirez coming up from his linebacker position. In fact, they gave the fullback Gibson a little bit of forward progress, just out shy of the 35. It will be 3rd down and 10. Changes offensively for the Knights. Under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Now no score. 3rd down and 10 for the Knights from their own 35. They need their own 45 for the first down. And a penalty marker is thrown in the backfield belonging to the Knights. Not sure what that's about. Julian Ramirez in the backfield. This will go against the Knights. It's almost as though maybe somebody said something that wasn't proper. It was before the play. Illegal formation. 3rd down and 15 now after the 5-yard illegal formation penalty. Knights back at their own 30-yard line. 4:34 remaining in this first half. No score. The Cardinals again possessed the ball the entire first quarter. Came up empty after scoring, then having it taken away on a penalty, and then they had a fumble exchange in the very next play, recovered by the Knights. 3rd down and 15 for the Knights from their own 30-yard line. They need their own 45. Muhammad, the single setback. They spread the field with 4 receivers. Muhammad in at quarterback will take it on the direct snap. The Wildcat, in fact, has blockers, cuts it back against the grain, and Priest Anthony, big number 11, with an assist from number 3, Jaden Matthews, on that stop. Wouldn't want Priest Anthony coming down on you. He is a big man at 10 years old. It was a gain on the play of 8, setting up 4th down and 8 for the Knights from their own 38-yard line. 3:40 and ticking in the first half, no score. And the Knights probably deciding, do they want to punt it away? But they will go for it. Again, it appears to be a direct snap situation with Adam Muhammad. He gets the snap. He looks to throw, fires deep down the left side, has a man open, and overshot him just by a little bit. It was Mark Gonzalez. So Muhammad has been taking over in that wildcat role, and that time showing a good arm, but just overshot Gonzalez, who was wide open down the middle of the field. So on downs, the Cardinals will take over, 1st down and 10 at the 38 of the Knights. 3:10 and ticking here in the first half, no score. Again, last week the Knights beat the Cardinals in their league championship game 26-13. Fabian Castro, the quarterback. The handoff bouncing to the right this time is Jaden Matthews. He takes it down inside the 30, close to the first down marker, and gang tackled on that far side. Leading the tacklers, Iverson Small, who's also the backup quarterback, but a penalty marker in that backfield, and this is probably coming back. So 2:30 and ticking here in the first half, no score. And it's interesting, and Jeff, you'd agree, the lower you go down, or the younger the levels, if you think about Little League, these parents that just get so involved, and they've got, the parents are coaching out there, but I've heard some real screaming. You've been to Little League, you played Little League, how some parents literally will get thrown out of the ballpark because they're so, you know what I mean, the parents here, the coaches, right. So no penalty there, and that was some of the argument. And it looked like they were going to bring in the water from the sideline, but did not. It is 1st down and 10 for the Cardinals at the 27-yard line, and they go straight ahead with it. And they pick up a couple inside. Fabian Castro with that quarterback keeper. Got the big running back wearing number 1, Amari Taasi. It was a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7, the 24-yard line. The handoff, Matthews bouncing at right side, cuts it back with great vision, and he is taken down right around the 16-yard line. On the tackle, Jose Felix. And I guess if you're the Cardinals, ideally you would continue to take it down the field. They've called a timeout with 1:14 here before halftime, no score. Matthews with some very good vision that time, picking up 7. Not enough for a 1st down, and now the water comes out to both sides. It's approaching 100 degrees, not expected to get any more than that, but it was a 1st down after the 7-yard run by Jaden Matthews, who really showed some good vision on that run. But if you're the Cardinals, who possessed that ball the entire first quarter, like to score right before the half. Of course, it's a continuous clock, other than the 2-minute warning and timeouts. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Cardinals at the 17 of the Knights. Taasi is the single setback. Castro, the quarterback, and a reverse, or should say misdirection play to Matthews, who cuts it back, and he is down close to the 11-yard line, and he may have coughed up that ball. It is a fumble. So Matthews coughing up that ball, and the ball will go over to the Knights. Appeared that Torrin Hall, one of the top tacklers, came up with that fumble recovery. And once again, the Cardinals, who have possessed the ball the majority of the ball game, on their way to score again, come up empty. 45 seconds remaining in this first half. No score, and again, Another turnover, the second fumble by the Cardinals. Now, I think if you're the Knights, you may be conservative down here and just get into the locker room. They've set the clock back at 1:07, and now they start the clock, a continuous clock. With the Knights first down and 10 back at their own 13-yard line, I think I would maybe just take a knee. You don't want to turn it over down there. It appears they may be going out of that wildcat again with Muhammad. Muhammad gets it, sets, fires deep down the left side into double coverage. And it was too high for Zeus Pinder with decent coverage over their double coverage. Freddie Parsons, number 13, was in the vicinity. So I guess that's what they were reading my mind, thinking that, well, we're going to take a knee and then surprising the Knights, or surprising the Cardinals and going deep. That was a good idea. And just missing on it, not by much. So again, Muhammad, the quarterback, on second down. He's going to take it himself with Pinder blocking. Muhammad cuts it up, and he is sandwiched. Taken down after a decent game. Palivi Yauma, as well as Joseph Clark, making that hit. 16 seconds remaining in the first half, no score. And Muhammad, who's kind of running that wildcat, so to speak, at quarterback, picking up 10 yards in the first down. So the Knights certainly not taking a knee. That's how much I know. 16.6 seconds remaining in the first half. No score. The majority of the possession has belonged to the Cardinals, but a pair of turnovers, and they've come up empty. So no scores on the board. This is the Youth 10 age group. 10-year-olds, 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series here from North High School in downtown Phoenix. 16.6 seconds remaining in the first half, no score. First and 10 for the Knights from their own 22-yard line. Again, Muhammad will run out of that wildcat with 4 receivers, and he's showed a good arm as he just missed a defender. Pinder goes in motion. Muhammad going to take it himself with Pinder out in front, picks up a block, and he is taken down on a nice low tackle that time by Freddie Parsons. So Freddie Parsons with a nice tackle down low. Clock stops with 9 seconds remaining in the half. A loss of 5, second down and 15 for the Knights back at their own 18-yard line. So maybe this is where you take a knee. I don't know. You don't want to turn it over down here, but you could catch somebody alone in the secondary for a bomb. 9.4 seconds remaining in the first half, no score. Second down and 15 for the Knights from their own 18-yard line. Muhammad out of the shotgun. They spread it with 4 receivers. Muhammad, there he goes. He eluded Priest Anthony and now takes off. Throws it high in the air here to the near side. A man wide open, but ran out of room here on the near side. Muhammad showing some good elusiveness, and Julian Ramirez just didn't have enough room over here at the near side, but that was a good idea. And again, Adam Muhammad in at quarterback, avoiding some big-time rushing in the form of number 11, Priest Anthony. But a penalty marker, and Muhammad, he may have been over the line of scrimmage when he threw that. That is the end of the first half. We go to halftime scoreless, as it is the Arizona Knights out of the West Valley against the West Valley Cardinals. I'm Eric Anderson. Again, no score. 7.5 minutes remaining in our halftime break. Second half, no score on the board. Again, this is a rematch of last week's league championship, MIS championship. The Knights winning 26-13. Of course, the Knights out of the West Valley, as well as the West Valley Cardinals. It's the 10-year-old championship. Knights won the championship last year, played at ASU. They've, in fact, the Knights have won 76 games in a row. They're 76-0 in Arizona since these kids were 7.5 years old. So Not a bad record, and they're pretty proud of that. Today's broadcast brought to you by APNvideo.com. It's the 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series. FBU, one of the sponsors. B4, Urban Elite Athletic, the All-American Games, U.S. Army's All-American Bowl, by Reform, Youth 1 National Youth Championship Bowl Series, Arizona. Since the Knights kicked off to start the ball game, they will get the ball first here in the second half. The Cardinals will kick off. So no score, again, continuous clock. It'll be Amari Taasi, the big running back, kicking off for the Cardinals and lining up what appears to be maybe an onside kick attempt. So that's what they do a lot in this league. So Taasi to kick off, and this ball, see if it's a beautiful kick. It goes high into the air, and coming down with it, tremendous play by Zeus Pinder. So Pinder going up and making that. It was a risky play. He had to kind of go out and get it. The ball had only gone 8 yards. A little bit of a do-or-die play, but Pinder going up, making a great play. You've seen that many times in the NFL where a guy goes up and can't hold on to it, and the kicking team will get it. But star one for Pinder on a great play on the onside kick for the Knights.
You want some of this?
Adam Muhammad, the versatile running back, had been running the Wildcat quite often. He will remain in at the Wildcat position. Kyle Rose, normally the quarterback, but they're running out of that Wildcat. First down and 10 for the Knights at the 49 of the Cardinals. Muhammad out of the shotgun, a quick toss to Pinder here, and then they see it bobbled it for a second. Races forward, and the initial hit was made by number 13 of the Cardinals, Freddie Parsons. Parsons having a good game. Also in the mix, Seth Zeus, or I should say Thus, number 38. No gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10 for the Knights, the 49 of the Cardinals. Continuous clock, 8.5 minutes remaining in the second half, third quarter, I should say. No score. Out of the shotgun, and the quarterback, or the shotgun, is Muhammad. Fires hit on their side. Pinder goes up and makes the catch at the 45-yard line. He was hit and dropped immediately by Louis Ramirez, but Pinder, a running back by trade, going up high and putting his body on the line, picking up 4 yards. It'll be third down and 6 for the Knights at the Cardinal 45-yard line. Again, the Cardinals have had the ball, majority of the possession on offense, but they've had 2 fumbles and obviously have not scored from that position. Iverson Small in the backfield, line up to the left of Muhammad, who goes out of the Wildcat. Third down and 6. In motion is Pinder, and a penalty marker comes in. Most likely a legal motion against the Knights, false start against the Knights. We'll move it back to midfield, bringing up a third down and 11. The Arizona Knights out of the West Valley will have the ball at midfield. 7:15 remaining in the third quarter, no score. And they've been running Adam Muhammad out of the Wildcat formation, if you want to call that Wildcat slash shotgun. He has been throwing and showing a good arm. Also in the backfield, the backup quarterback Iverson Small lines up to the left. Third down and 11 for the Knights at midfield. In motion, taking it to the left is Muhammad. He is grabbed in the backfield and finally taken down. It was number 31, Jacob Cortina, that got the initial grab on the quarterback Muhammad that threw that play off. Penalty in the middle of the field, so another penalty marker comes down. Muhammad certainly was not going to get the first down, but Cortina disrupted that play. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Cardinals. What was the call on that? Did they signal it? A 15-yard, I'd imagine, personal foul probably against maybe a face mask against the Cardinals, and a costly one. It gives the Knights an automatic first down, 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of the Cardinals. 5:45 and ticking in the third quarter, no score. 1st and 10 for the Knights at the Cardinal 38-yard line. Again, Muhammad out of the shotgun. 4 receivers. Quick toss to the right side. This is a lateral behind the line of scrimmage. Taking off is Evan Brown, and he races to the outside, but is hit and dropped on that far side. And again, coming up big, Isaac Palivi-Yauma, number 55, making another big play. It's a loss of 4 on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 14 for the Knights at the 42 of the Cardinals. Approaching 5 minutes and ticking in this second half, third quarter, no score. Cardinals have held the ball on offense of the majority of the time, and now the Knights taking over themselves. 2nd down and 14, Knights at the 42 of the Cardinals. Muhammad out of the shotgun. He will look to throw, heaves it up deep down the near side into double coverage. It was intended for Pinder. Some good coverage, Joseph Clark in the vicinity, and one of the coaches in the backfield for the Cardinals, I think, wanted a penalty. So it appears that they're allowed one coach on the field on both sides. So Muhammad showing a good arm. It'll bring up 3rd down and 14 for the Knights at the 42 of the Cardinals. 4.5 minutes and ticking, continuous clock here in the third quarter, no score. Last week in the league championship, the Knights beat this Cardinal team 26-13. Muhammad of the shotgun on 3rd down and 14. Pinder goes in motion. On the option going right is Muhammad. Has running room to the outside, inside the 35, and dragged down around the 31-yard line. Getting over on that stop was Amari Taasi, one of the top tacklers, a fullback. Also Joseph Clark. But a penalty marker lies on the far side of the 39-yard line. It's going to be holding against the Knights, and this one is coming back. So nice run by Adam Muhammad. And now checking back in at quarterback will be Kyle Rose, who on paper was the starting quarterback, but they'd switched into the Wildcat slash shotgun with Adam Muhammad, who's a running back by trade. So Kyle Rose, the number 1 quarterback, wearing number 9, is checked back in. No first down after the holding penalty. It'll be 3rd down and 21 for the Knights at the 49 of the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, they've been out there a long time here in this third quarter, and the heat about 99 degrees. And if you're a big guy like that Priest Anthony, number 11, just huge guy on that defensive line, might be taking its toll on you. 3:05 remaining in the third quarter, no score. An official's timeout. The Knights facing a 3rd and 21 from the 49 of the Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals have, particularly in the first half, held the possession for the majority of that first half, but could not score as they fumbled twice and lost both fumbles. So Kyle Rose, number 9, the starting quarterback, checks back in as they've been using Adam Muhammad, a running back by trade. And that Wildcat formation or the shotgun. But Muhammad, a versatile guy, and he's in the backfield as there's 3 backs in the backfield as that reverse wishbone. 3rd down and 21. They pitch it to Muhammad. He looks to throw, fires it deep down the right side. A wobbler. It is up for grabs, and it is nearly picked off on the far side, going through the hands of Joseph Clark. Clark had it for a second. It was intended for Willie Cordova. So a little bit of trickery, and I'd imagine the Knights on 4th down and 21 would probably punt it away. 2:21 remaining in the third quarter on the continuous clock. No score. So do you punt it away? I don't think we've seen one punt in this ball game. Of course, the younger kids, age 7, whatnot like that, there is no punting, as the skill set for the punting really not up to it at that point. If they elect to punt, they just give them, take 30 yards off. But the Knights will go for it on 4th down and 21 at the 49 of the Cardinals. Rose under center with three backs. Pinder gets it. They swing it out to Muhammad out of the backfield. That's a backward lateral pass. Races ahead down the right sideline, inside the 40, the 35. Down the right sideline, Muhammad might go all the way for a touchdown. A 49-yard touchdown run on 4th down and 21 around the right side by Adam Muhammad. It is 6-0 in favor of the Knights with 1:30 and ticking in the third quarter. That was a lateral backward pass, and Muhammad, showing that tremendous speed, took it up that far sideline and went 49 yards for the score. How about that? So 6-0 Knights, approaching 1 minute remaining in the third quarter, is that continuous clock. And again, at this level, if you try to kick the extra point, it's worth 2 points. If you run or pass, it is worth 1, and I'd imagine they would try to run or pass this in. Rose remains in at quarterback, and Muhammad the tailback in that 3-set backfield. Swing it out to Muhammad again with blockers, cuts it back and lunges towards the end zone, and I don't think he got it. In fact, he fumbled the ball on the far sideline. It was fumbled on some big hits inside. Coming away with that ball was number 13, Freddie Parsons. So the extra point try is no good. It looked like Muhammad was going to get into the end zone, but with some hard hitting, it was fumbled and recovered by Parsons. So with 37 seconds remaining in this third quarter, the score remains 6-0 in favor of the Knights on the 49-yard touchdown run by Adam Muhammad. So the Knights and their coaching staff, some happy campers. They lost last week in the league championship, the MIS championship, to the Cardinals, 26-13. So Knights trying to get them back this week. Or I should restate that. The Knights trying to win 2 in a row. Cardinals losing last week, 26-13. So the Knights trying to beat them 2 in a row. Muhammad will kick off for the Knights. And this is an onside squib kick, and it bounces off the Cardinal player, and it is recovered by the Knights. It is recovered by the Knights and Zeus Pinder. So all the momentum in the Knights' favor right now. That is the end of the third quarter, 6-0 in favor of the Knights. And they recovered the onside kick, if you want to call it that. Technically, it was more of a squib kick at this level, recovered by Zeus Pinder. So Pinder coming off and may have needed his shoe fixed or maybe dinged his hand, maybe got popped in the chest a little bit, but we will change ends right around midfield as we head to the fourth quarter. It is 6-0 in favor of the Knights on the 49-yard touchdown run by Muhammad. Remember, the Cardinals dominated the first half. They had dominated the time of possession, but fumbled twice and couldn't come up with any points. Approaching 99 degrees, this is the 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series, age 10, from North High School, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. A continuous clock makes it interesting. The clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Also, timeouts for the referees. First down and 10 for the Knights at the 48-yard line of the Cardinals. Muhammad, the tailback, in that full backfield. They hand off to the fullback, and straight ahead is Gibson, but not much doing as he dragged down by the big inside tackle, Priest Anthony. And I think he'd be getting a little bit tired, just the biggest man on the field here. A gain of, we'll call it 2. It'll be second down and long 8 for the Knights at the 46 of the Cardinals. Kyle Rose, the starting quarterback, back in. For a while, they were using Adam Muhammad, the very versatile running back, as Wildcat formation, throwing out of the shotgun. So Rose is back under center. Muhammad, the tailback, in that full backfield. Pinder goes in motion. 2nd down and 8. They hand off to Pinder. Pinder in the backfield. He picked up a big block. Pinder leaped over one tackler and streaks down the near sideline, eventually shoved out of bounds by Freddie Parsons. And there was a huge block. A huge block in there, and I'll tell you that Knights offense and the entire team is very fired up. There was a menacing block cut back by one of the receivers, and I believe that it was Iverson Small. Don't quote me on that, but he's awfully fired up. In fact, I believe it is Julian Ramirez. Number 11 made that big block. So we want to credit the right guy. Number 11, Julian Ramirez. I guess you could call it a crackback. Whatever it is, it was a mean block, a tremendous legal block. And you get that type of thing happening, it fires up your team. A gain of 10, 1st down and 10 for the Knights at the 36 of the Cardinals. Look like offside. They hand off to Pinder going left. The ball pops loose. There was a penalty marker on the far side. Cardinals saying they have the ball, but it looked like some motion before the play. The Knights are signaling that it was offside against the Cardinals, but we'll just have to wait and see. There is a penalty marker on the play, and I'm guessing it is going to go against the Cardinals, but that isn't necessarily going to happen. But it appeared they were offside, I thought. The Knights did fumble the ball. Pinder had it and lost it. 7:20 and ticking here in the 3rd quarter. 6-0 Knights at the Cardinal 39-yard line, but the officials sorting out that play. And if it was a false start, that play should have been whistled dead before it got underway. And that could be something that might happen also. The ball was recovered by the Cardinals. You got to give these referees credit. It's not easy at any level, but this level, the parents can really get on you if they're not happy with the calls. Again, 7:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 6-0 in favor, or I should say 4th quarter. 7:14 remaining in the 4th quarter. A false start against the Knights. And that play should have been whistled dead. I wanted to correct myself. It is 7:14 remaining in the 4th quarter. 6-0 in favor of the Knights. With that illegal motion, that should have been whistled dead, and they are going to call that. So no fumble. The play was whistled dead, or should have been, after the illegal motion. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Knights at the 41-yard line of the Cardinals. Again, it is 7:14 remaining in the 4th quarter. 7:14 remaining in the 4th quarter. 6-0 in favor of the Knights, and a 49-yard touchdown run by Muhammad. 1st and 15 for the Knights at the 41 of the Cardinals. Rose back in under center at quarterback. Muhammad, the tailback, in that full house backfield. They pitch it to Muhammad. He cuts it back against the grain. Slipped away from one man, and he is taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Parsons. Jacob Cortina, number 31, was really the one that really disrupted that play. And another penalty marker on the field, and this will go against the Knights. So a ball game that was moving along very quickly with that continuous clock is now slowed up a bit with the penalty markers. So this will go against the Knights. Another illegal motion, was it? And that'll move the ball back to midfield. In fact, probably a holding penalty. It was a 9-yard penalty. 2nd down and 24 for the Knights at midfield. Clock has started back up again. Again, the continuous clock, except it stops at the 2-minute warning, as well as penalties with the referees. Knights leading 6-0, approaching 6 minutes remaining in the ball game. 2nd down and 24 for the Knights from midfield. Out of the shotgun is Muhammad, and that is whistled dead once again. So Muhammad will take that direct snap, and Rose back on the sideline, but that play was whistled dead also. So one penalty after the other, 3 consecutive plays with penalties, and that again will cost, I'd imagine, a motion penalty against the Knights. It'll cost them another 5 yards. It will be 2nd down and 29 for the Knights back at their own 45-yard line. Knights, I'm sure, were hoping to kind of get a couple of first downs and kind of take this thing, run out the clock, as the clock has started again, ticking at 5:15 and counting. The Knights leading 6-0, but now 2nd and 29. The Knights from their own 45. Muhammad again out of the shotgun. 4 receivers set, the direct snap. They fire hit to Pinder. Slipped one tackle here on the near side. He's in trouble and taken out of bounds. Raced out by Joseph Clark was the initial defender. Of course, the clock does not stop when you go out of bounds here.
Out of bounds. Stop the clock.
They don't stop it here. The continuous. We'd be here all day if they stopped it on everything. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 28. 4.5 minutes and ticking. Yeah, the next ball club, the 11-year-olds coming in. I can't believe how big these kids are at this young age. 3rd down and 29, Knights from their own 41-yard line. Rose back in at center. They pitch it to Muhammad. He will look to throw. Heaves it deep down the near side into man-to-man coverage. And it was tipped away on the play by Joseph Clark, intended for Willie Cordova. Now this, I would think, would have to be a punting situation, as the clock now ticking under 4 minutes. Continuous clock until the 2-minute warning. 6-0 in favor of the Knights. The Knights facing basically a 4th and 30 from their own 40-yard line. Temperatures approaching 99 degrees. That'll be the high. My guess is the Knights are trying to run this clock down a little bit, and then I would think they would probably punt it away. What type of play do you have on 4th and 30? Of course, Muhammad has gotten one that far before, or run one. And the Knights will punt it away. Mark Gonzalez will punt it away, and he hit a very low wobbly spiral. It takes a Knights roll, and a very good roll at that. And it will roll dead all the way down at the 32-yard line of the Cardinals. 28-yard punt, and Gonzalez, I guess when you're 10-year-olds aren't going to be able to snap that ball back 15 yards, but Gonzalez was only back about 7 yards, and I don't know if they're allowed to come in and block the punts. It almost looked like they weren't, but a very favorable roll on that punt from Mark Gonzalez. 1st down and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 33-yard line. They trail at 6-0, 2:25 and ticking in the ball game. Fabian Castro under center. The handoff going right this time is Matthews. Cuts it back, and he is stacked up around the 36-yard line after a 3-yard gain. Some good defense inside by Jose Felix and Adam Muhammad, who's had a tremendous ball game. Most guys play both ways, I imagine, at this level. And that is the 2-minute warning in the ball game. It is 6-0 in favor of the Knights here in the 4th quarter. And it'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Cardinals from their own 36-yard line. Fabian Castro will go under center. The big fullback or tailback, Amari Taasi. The misdirection play, they hand off to Omar Lezcano, and he fights his way ahead close to the 1st down marker. And coming out from the bottom of that pile. Number 21, Willie Cordova, one of the top tacklers for the Knights. Not quite enough for a first down, a gain of 6. It's 3rd down and 1. Castro hands off again over the right side. This is Lezcano, and he has the first down and more, falling forward all the way down to the 46-yard line.
Hurry up!
Tackle made by the Knights. Rajon Huckabee. A minute 12 here in ticking as the Cardinals trying to come back and win this one, as they trail it 6-0 here in the 4th quarter with a minute 12 remaining and a timeout called by the Cardinals. We've had a couple of very exciting ball games. The Cardinals would need to get down, get the touchdown, and then either run it or pass it in for the 1-point conversion. The Knights won last week 26-13 in the MIS League Championship game, so this is a rematch of last week's game. So Omar Lezcano picking up the first down. The ball rests at the Cardinal 48.5-yard line. It's 1st down and 10. Again, the Cardinals just shy of their own 49. Taasi, the big running back with the ponytail in the backfield, a menacing ball play. The handoff to Lezcano going right. He thought about throwing, races to the outside, and he was knocked down. Mark Gonzalez getting a hand on the running back racing around the right side. That was Omar Lezcano, who looked like he had the option to either run or pass, and another timeout is called by the Cardinals. So a loss of 3 on the play. The clock stops at exactly 1 minute remaining in the ball game. It is 6-0 in favor of the Knights. And the Cardinals facing a 2nd down and 14 from just over their own 45-yard line. Knights are 76-0 in Arizona in the last couple of years. So 1 minute remaining in the ball game. 6-0 Knights, and the Cardinals 2nd and 14 just over their own 45-yard line. Castro gets it. A delay is called. This is Matthews racing ahead over the left side. He is double teamed and taken down right around the 45-yard line of the Knights. Huckabee as well as Adam Muhammad, who's had a tremendous afternoon on the stop. Cardinals out of timeouts, 3rd down and 4 from the 45-yard line, and a penalty marker comes in. It stops this play. It was going to be a handoff to Jaden Matthews, but penalty marker comes in and stops that play with 30.9 seconds remaining in the game. Or at least in the 4th quarter, we could end up in a tie, and they'd go to overtime, I'd imagine. 6-0 in favor of the Knights. They start the clock again. It is 3rd down and 10. Handoff to Matthews over the right side. Has a sliver, but it is taken away in a hurry, and he stayed on his feet. And finally taken down, and making sure that he was down was Jose Felix, number 34. Clock stops with 16 seconds remaining in this ball game. 6-0 in favor of the Knights. Ball resting at midfield. And on downs, the Knights will take over 1st and 10 from midfield, as that's what it appears to be what's going on. I thought that was only 3rd down. I think the Cardinals still have the ball. It was the guys in the chain gang do the best that they can, but sometimes if you don't flip that number, it is still 4th down. The Cardinals still have the ball with 16.1 seconds remaining in the ballgame. They trail it 6-0, facing a 4th down and 10 from midfield, and another stoppage of play. The Cardinals cannot stop the clock. They're out of timeouts. If you get out of bounds, it doesn't stop the clock. It's a continuous clock. 16.1 seconds remaining in the ballgame. 6-0 Knights. Of course, the Knights in the green. Next roster. This is game 4 of 9. The NorCal Bears will be the 11-year-olds the next game, I would guess. Okay. 16.1 seconds remaining in the ball game, in a sense. 6-0 Knights. The Cardinals without any timeouts, facing 4th down and 11 from midfield. Well, they're saying it's 3rd down now as Castro has it. He pitches to Matthews. Matthews will look to throw. Heaves it up into quadruple coverage down the far side, and it was intended for Omar Lascano. But that was in a triple coverage, and it only took a few seconds off the clock. Muhammad with some good coverage over there, as well as Augustine McCabe and Iverson Small. This may be the final play of the ball. Well, the clock starts, 7 seconds, and now we've got some activity and movement, and the play is whistled dead. Of course, the continuous clock, even with that ball that goes incomplete, I guess it's hard to get thinking that way because it's strange. You always automatically think it stops. But with 6 seconds remaining here in the ball game, it is 6-0. They'll put it back at 8 seconds remaining in the ball game. 6-0 Knights. And the Cardinals with the ball, 4th down and 10 from midfield. This may be the last play of the ball game. Castro has it. Again, they give it to Matthews. Then a little reverse inside, and racing straight ahead is Freddie Parsons, and he is taken down at the 35-yard line, and that is the ball game. The Knights from the West Valley, now 77-0 in the last couple of years, win it by a score of 6-0 over the West Valley Cardinals. It's the Arizona 2017 National Youth Championship Bowl Series, age 10, won by the Arizona Knights by a score of 6-0. I'm Eric Anderson. Jeff Lowry will take over for Game 5. The 11-year-olds coming up just next.